The warning from the human ambassador echoed through the council chamber. Stay away from Earth or face humanity's wrath. Zachary Simpson stood defiantly before the Galactic Council on the Aoran homeworld, a solitary human figure surrounded by hostile alien faces. Council leader Yaris sneered from his podium, his yellow eyes flashing with disdain. Ambassador Simpson, Earth has violated Council directives repeatedly, meddling in the affairs of lesser species and expanding without authorization. Zachary stepped forward, his gray hair and determined face a stark contrast to the alien crowd. Earth acts only to protect those who can't protect themselves. We must stand against tyranny, no matter the source. The chamber erupted in shouts of outrage. Yaris slammed his fist, silencing them. Enough. Humans have grown too arrogant. You upstart primates think you can dictate the galaxy's course. The Aoran Empire has ruled for millennia. We won't tolerate your insolence. Zachary stood unflinching in the hostile atmosphere. Humanity has overcome countless threats in our history. We don't want conflict, but we won't back down when others' lives and freedom are at risk. If the Aoran Empire keeps abusing its power, Earth will take action. Yaris leaned forward, eyes narrowing. Is that a threat? Zachary's voice was calm but firm. No, it's a warning. Earth has watched your empire closely. Our fleets are ready, our soldiers trained, our resolve unbreakable. Change your ways, become a force for good, or we will stand against you until your empire is just a cautionary tale in history. Silence hung heavy in the air. Yaris sat back, a flicker of uncertainty in his eyes. The stage was set for a confrontation that could seal the galaxy's fate. With Earth and the Aoran Empire on the brink of war, Zachary knew the hard road ahead, but he was ready to fight for his beliefs, no matter the cost. Humanity's very survival hung in the balance. The shuttle ride back to Earth was tense and silent as Zachary Simpson mulled over the Galactic Council's hostile response to his warning. The Aoran Empire's arrogance and aggression had been on full display, making it clear they had no intention of changing their ways. As the shuttle touched down at the United Earth Government, UEG, headquarters in New York City, Zachary steeled himself for the difficult conversation ahead. Striding into the secure meeting room, he found himself standing before a panel of Earth's most powerful leaders. President Michael Novak, a tall, broad-shouldered man with a commanding presence, sat at the head of the table, flanked by Admiral Liam Connors, the Secretary of Defense. The room was filled with palpable tension as Zachary began his report. Mr. President, Admiral Connors, I bring grave news from the Galactic Council, Zachary began, his voice steady despite the weight of his words. The Aoran Empire has made their intentions clear. They have no regard for the sovereignty or well-being of other races, and they fully intend to continue their aggressive expansion. President Novak leaned forward, his brow furrowed. Ambassador Simpson, your report confirms our worst fears. The Aoran Empire poses a significant threat to Earth and our allies. We must take action to ensure the safety and freedom of our people and those who look to us for protection. Admiral Connor, a seasoned military strategist with a scarred face and steely eyes, spoke up. Mr. President, our intelligence suggests that the Aoran are already mobilizing their forces. They have begun consolidating their power in key star systems and are actively suppressing any resistance from the local populations. Zachary nodded grimly, his eyes meeting those of the President and the Admiral. I have no doubt that the Aoran will test our resolve. We must be prepared for the possibility of open war. President Novak turned to Admiral Connor, his expression serious. Admiral, what is the status of our fleet? Admiral Connor sat up straight, his voice filled with quiet confidence. Our ships are ready, Mr. President. We have been quietly bolstering our defenses and upgrading our technology in preparation for this moment. The UEG space fleet is the most advanced and powerful in human history, but we have yet to face a foe like the Aoran Empire. President Novak stood, his tall frame exuding a sense of resolve. Gentlemen, we will not back down from this challenge. Earth has faced extinction-level threats before, and we have always emerged victorious. We will reach out to our allies and rally them to our cause. The Aoran Empire must learn that they cannot threaten the freedom and sovereignty of other races without consequence. Zachary and Admiral Connor nodded in agreement, their determination mirroring that of the president. As the meeting concluded, Zachary felt the weight of the task ahead settling on his shoulders. Earth was now faced with the monumental challenge of standing against the Aoran Empire, a foe that had ruled the galaxy for millennia. The path ahead would be fraught with danger and uncertainty as Earth navigated the delicate balance between diplomacy and military action. But one thing was certain: humanity would not back down. They would fight for their place among the stars, ready to defend themselves and their allies against the looming threat of the Aoran Empire. As tensions escalated between Earth and the Aoran Empire, Zachary Simpson found himself embarking on a covert mission deep within enemy territory. Disguised as a merchant, he infiltrated a key Aoran military outpost on the planet Zard Prime, determined to gather vital intelligence on the Empire's war preparations and sabotage their efforts from within. Zachary's shuttle touched down on the bustling spaceport of Zard Prime's capital city. He stepped out into the alien world, his merchant disguise allowing him to blend seamlessly with the diverse crowd of traders and travelers. Zachary navigated the unfamiliar streets, his knowledge of Aoran language and customs helping him avoid suspicion as he made his way toward the city's seedy underbelly. In a dimly lit tavern, Zachary made contact with a small group of resistance fighters led by Raxar, a battle-hardened Zardan. Raxar's team had been fighting against Aoran oppression for years and saw Zachary's arrival as a glimmer of hope in their struggle. The Aoran have a secret weapons facility on the outskirts of the city, Raxar revealed, his voice low as they huddled in a secluded booth. They're developing a new prototype weapon, an ion cannon capable of disabling entire fleets. If we can destroy it and steal the plans, it could turn the tide of the war. Zachary leaned forward, his eyes locked with Raxar. I'm here to help. Let's devise a plan to infiltrate the facility and take out that weapon. Under the cover of night, Zachary and a small team of resistance fighters breached the facility's perimeter. Alarms blared as they engaged in a fierce firefight with the Aoran guards. Despite being outnumbered, their advanced human weaponry leveled the playing field. Leading the charge, Zachary's training and experience guided them through the chaos. They fought their way to the ion cannon control room, where Zachary planted explosive charges while his team downloaded critical schematics and research data. As they made their escape, Zachary found himself face-to-face with Zor, a high-ranking Athorian commander. They engaged in brutal hand-to-hand combat, their skills evenly matched. Punches were exchanged, kicks landed with devastating force, and the air crackled with tension. Ultimately, Zachary's resolve and determination tipped the scales. With a swift and calculated move, he disarmed Zor, forcing the commander to surrender. The resistance fighters fled the facility, narrowly escaping as Athorian reinforcements flooded the area. Back on Earth, Zachary presented the stolen data to UEG military leaders, providing a crucial advantage in the coming conflict. The Aoran Empire now knew Earth could strike at the heart of their operations, shifting the balance of power in humanity's favor. However, Zachary understood this was merely the beginning of a long and arduous struggle. The Aoran would not rest until they had exacted their revenge upon Earth and its allies. As both sides prepared for the inevitable escalation of the conflict, Zachary steeled himself for the challenges ahead, knowing the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. The war between Earth and the Aoran Empire raged across the stars, thrusting Zachary Simpson into the heart of the conflict. An urgent distress call from Nexus 4, a vital UEG ally, shattered the uneasy calm. The Aoran had launched a surprise attack, seeking to capture the planet's resources and cripple Earth's supply lines. Aboard the UES Vanguard, humanity's most advanced warship, Zachary briefed his team of elite soldiers. "Listen up," he said, his voice steady. "Nexus 4 is under siege. The Aoran are hitting them hard, and they need our help. We're going in to repel the invasion and secure the planet." As the Vanguard emerged from hyperspace, a horrifying scene unfolded. Ithorian warships pounded the planet's surface with relentless bombardment, while ground forces clashed in brutal combat with Nexian defenders. The once thriving cities lay in ruins, smoke billowing from the wreckage. Zachary quickly assessed the situation. "Target the Aoran command ships," he ordered. disrupt their communications, and scatter their fleet. I'll lead a ground assault to relieve the Nexian forces and drive the Aoran back." The Vanguard's weapons roared to life, striking the Aoran ships with precision. Explosions blossomed across their hulls as the UEG flagship tore through their defenses. Simultaneously, Zachary and his soldiers descended to the surface of Nexus 4, plunging into the heart of the battle. The war-torn streets and shattered buildings of the capital city became their battlefield as they engaged Athorian shock troops and advanced battle droids in intense urban combat. Plasma bolts sizzled through the air, scorching the walls and pavement. Zachary led the charge, his rifle barking as he took down Athorian soldiers with lethal efficiency. His team moved as one, their skills and weaponry tested to the utmost against the relentless enemy forces. Amidst the chaos, a shocking revelation reached Zachary's ears. The Aoran commander leading the invasion was none other than Zor, the same adversary he had defeated on Zark's Prime. Realizing that Zor's thirst for vengeance drove him to crush Earth's allies and break humanity's resolve, Zachary rallied his strike team for a daring assault on the Aoran command center. They fought their way through the heavily defended structure, facing off against Zor's elite forces. In the heart of the command center, Zachary and Zor faced off once more, their personal rivalry fueling the intensity of their battle. Energy blades clashed, and sparks flew as they engaged in a fierce duel, each driven by their unwavering convictions. Zachary's skills and resolve proved superior, and he emerged victorious, forcing Zor to retreat and signaling the Aoran forces to withdraw from Nexus 4. As United Earth Government, UEG, reinforcements arrived to secure the planet and provide aid to the beleaguered Nexian population, the tide of the war began to turn in Earth's favor. The victory at Nexus 4 served as a beacon of hope for Earth and its allies. However, Zachary knew that the Aoran Empire would not relent easily. The war was far from over, and he steeled himself for the challenges that lay ahead, determined to lead humanity to triumph against the ruthless Aoran Empire. As the war reached its climax, the Aoran Empire launched a desperate, all-out assault on Earth itself. Alarms blared across the UEG headquarters as a massive fleet emerged from hyperspace near Earth's orbit, catching the planet's defenses off guard. At the helm of the Aoran Armada was Emperor Zagon himself, determined to crush humanity's resistance once and for all. Zachary Simpson, now a battle-hardened admiral, raced back to Earth to lead the defense of his homeworld. He barked orders to his crew as he boarded the UES Vanguard, the flagship of Earth's fleet. "All hands to battle stations. We have an Aoran fleet inbound, and they're not here for a friendly visit." The ensuing battle was the largest and most brutal of the war, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. Earth's orbital defenses and the UEG fleet fought valiantly, their ships darting and weaving through enemy fire. But the sheer size and firepower of the Aoran Armada began to overwhelm them. Zachary gripped the armrests of his command chair as the Vanguard shuddered under the impact of enemy fire. Consoles sparked, and crew members were thrown to the deck as the ship's shields struggled to hold. "Status report," Zachary demanded. "Shields at 30%, Admiral," the tactical officer replied, her voice strained. "We can't take much more of this." Zachary's mind raced as he watched the battle unfold on the view screen. Earth's fleet was being pushed back, and the Aoran ships were closing in on the planet. He knew that if they broke through, it would be the end of everything he had fought for. In a desperate gambit, Zachary devised a plan to use Earth's secret weapon, a newly developed graviton bomb capable of creating miniature black holes. It was a weapon of last resort, untested and unpredictable, but it was their only chance. Zachary assembled a small, hand-picked team of pilots for a daring attack on the Aoran flagship. They would fly a squadron of stealth fighters armed with the graviton bomb and detonate it at the heart of the enemy fleet. As they launched from the Vanguard's hangar bay, Zachary's voice crackled over the comm. "All right, team. This is it. We have one shot at this. Failure is not an option." They streaked towards the Aoran flagship, dodging enemy fire and weaving through the chaos of the battle. Zachary's fighter shuddered as it took a glancing blow, alarms blaring in the cockpit. "I'm hit, but I can still fly," he reported through gritted teeth. They closed in on the flagship, its massive hull looming before them. "Prepare to detonate the bomb on my mark," Zachary ordered. 3, 2, 1. Mark. The graviton bomb launched from Zachary's fighter, streaking towards the Aoran ship. It detonated in a blinding flash of light, tearing a hole in the fabric of space-time itself. The flagship was consumed in an instant, along with a significant portion of the Aoran fleet. The shockwave from the blast slammed into Zachary's fighter, sending it spinning out of control. He fought with the controls, trying to regain stability, but it was too late. His ship careened into the side of a nearby Aoran cruiser, exploding in a ball of fire. The rest of Zachary's team was decimated, picked off one by the remaining Aoran ships, but their sacrifice had not been in vain. With the flagship destroyed and Emperor Zagon killed in the blast, the Aoran command structure was thrown into disarray. Seizing the opportunity, the UEG forces pressed their advantage, driving the remaining Aoran ships into a full retreat. Earth was saved, but the price of victory was high. Millions of lives had been lost, and the once mighty UEG fleet was left in ruins. In the aftermath of the battle, rescue teams scoured the wreckage, searching for survivors. They found Zachary's broken body amidst the debris, barely clinging to life. He was rushed to the nearest medical facility, but his injuries were too severe. He died shortly after, surrounded by his closest friends and allies. Zachary Simpson was hailed as a hero, the man who had sacrificed everything to save Earth and the UEG. His legacy would live on, inspiring future generations to stand against tyranny and fight for what was right. But even as Earth celebrated its victory, the scars of the war ran deep. The Galactic Council convened to discuss the future of the galaxy. With the Aoran Empire now leaderless and fractured, they were forced to accept harsh terms of surrender, their once mighty empire reduced to a shadow of its former self. Earth and its allies, though victorious, were left to rebuild from the ashes of the conflict. The war had forever changed the balance of power in the galaxy, and the wounds it had inflicted would take generations to heal. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel. For every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.